Am I the idiot for not wanting my nephew at my wedding? Me, 27-year-old, and my fiancé, 28-year-old, are getting married in a few months. I've told my fiancé from the start that I didn't want any kids at our wedding, and he agreed. We don't have any kids in our families, so that made it easy. We even put on our invitations that it was an adults-only event. Our venue also only allows a maximum of 5 children, because children tend to break things accidentally. Well over a year into planning our wedding, my sister tells us she's having a baby 2 months before our wedding, and she jokingly asked if her baby was allowed. We said we would think about it, but ideally not. She's also standing in the wedding. Last week she called and said she needed an answer now, even though her baby isn't due for a couple of months, and we said we didn't make a decision yet. We tried offering a few solutions, such as getting a babysitter or having her boyfriend's parents watch him for the night, as she and her boyfriend will probably want the night off. Or that the baby can be there for family pictures or tucked away during the ceremony in another room. She really wants him there because she wants everyone to meet the baby, and she doesn't feel comfortable leaving the baby with a sitter. I told her ideally I didn't want him there in case he started crying during the ceremony, and I don't feel like my wedding is the time and place for her to show off her new baby. I want everyone to enjoy the day and have fun. I also feel like she will hand off the baby to my mum, preventing my mum from fully enjoying the day. The next day she texted me and said she was removing herself from the wedding party. I thanked her for being honest with me and that I was understanding where she was coming from. I then asked her if that meant that she wasn't coming to the wedding at all. It's been over a week and I got no reply. I also explained that all I was requesting of her is to stand during the ceremony. Show up 20 minutes before the ceremony and that's fine. She then proceeded to not come to my bachelorette party that same week, claiming we were doing activities she couldn't do. We went for a walk on the beach with coffee, out for lunch, and a painting class. I don't know if I'm overreacting, as I don't have kids and don't want kids, so I have a hard time seeing this from her point of view. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Okay, I think you're the jerk a little, simply because you knew the answer would be no, but you decided to dance around and not give a solid answer. We said we would think about it, but ideally not. She's also standing in the wedding. We said we didn't make a decision yet. You shouldn't have lied to your sister. Should have been an adult and owned your decision. This is part of why you're the jerk. You finally give her your answer, and she decides to bow out. Both of you are cool here. But then, I also explained that all I was asking of her is to stand during the ceremony. She wouldn't even need to get ready with us. Show up 20 minutes before the ceremony and that's fine. Now you're starting to badger her. She made her choice just like you made yours. Time to drop the issue. Problem is, you're both having huge things happen in your lives, and both of you are treating the other like the huge thing happening is not a big deal. A wedding is a big deal, and so your feelings are hurt that she'd pull away from this big part of your life. A baby is a big deal, and so her feelings are hurt that you'd want her to leave that big part of her life at home away from your party. You're both making non-asshole decisions and reacting to each other with hurt, in non-asshole ways. Leave her alone and don't push her, or else you'll go from only the jerk because you couldn't find your spine, and move to also the jerk for pressuring someone when she's told you no. Comment 2. No jerks here. You are within your right to have a child-free wedding, but it is also reasonable for your sister to not want to be separated from her newborn infant for several hours. I agree that introducing a new baby at your wedding would draw attention away from the wedding celebration, but remember that while your wedding is huge for you, it is perfectly normal for a pregnant woman to not be up for socializing, and her pregnancy and newborn child are every bit as huge for her. Your wedding doesn't trump her child, and her child doesn't trump your wedding. It sounds like this is just a case of bad timing. If you and your sister have had a good relationship until now, I hope you both make the effort to get past the timing issue. Your wedding is just one day, and her child will only be a newborn infant for a very short time. You two have the rest of your lives to be good sisters. Comment 3. You're entitled to have a child-free wedding if that's what you want, but some flexibility might be called for here if you want your sister at your wedding, and to keep a good relationship with her, assuming your relationship is already good. I find the comments that you're not the idiot because all of the attention should be on you on your wedding day to be a bit ridiculous. Wedding guests don't gaze upon the bride and groom with adoring, rapt attention for the 12 hours typically spent at a wedding. A baby attending doesn't make the day any less about you. Having friends and family in attendance and being comfortable in attending is what matters. Decide whether you'd rather stand your ground or have your sister with you at your wedding. Now for the next story. I don't drive and live in my forever house with my dogs. My kids are grown up and I'm a widow. I converted my garage into a legal guest house with everything a person needs for when the kids visit. Independent washroom, kitchen, everything. My parents have recently asked me if they can move in with me. I agreed and talked to my kids to let them know that if they came for a visit, the garage was taken so they would have to stay in the house. My parents showed up on the appointed day and the kids showed up with their families to help get them moved in. And they actually had already arranged a hotel for one family so we would not be crowded. My parents were confused as to why we were moving their stuff into the garage. I told them that was where they were staying. They said that they thought they could move into my house since I have 5 bedrooms. I explained that I actually have 2 bedrooms since one room is my office where I see clients, one is my private office and one is my hobby room. The spare bedroom is mostly for my mutts. They said that they wanted to live in the house, not out in the garage like Fonzie. I said it was a take-it-or-leave-it situation. If they didn't want the garage, they could move into a nursing home or something. They are upset that they are living rent-free in a private guest house that is fully up to code. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. If it's a converted guest house that's completely up to code, I don't see a reason that they would want to go into the house, as everything you have in the house you have in the guest house too. My friend recently turned her shed into a beautiful guest house. Kitchen appliances, private bathroom, the works. Her parents are currently living there and they don't have a problem with it. They like the privacy and they like being close to their child. Comment 2. Tell them, it's my roof and you'll do as I say. JK. But honestly, a rent-free place of their own where they're not in your way and you're not in theirs seems like the best deal for everyone. Obviously there will be times when they visit you in the main house, but I think you're being fair, not the idiot. Comment 3. Wow, your parents are spoiled. A rent-free up-to-code apartment sounds pretty sweet. If it isn't good enough for them, then they can make other arrangements. But if you let them into your main house, it will become their house, and you won't be able to get away from them. Not the idiot. Now for the next story. Me, 20-year-old female, and my sisters, 19-year-old females and 16-year-old female, have flown cross-country for my 30-year-old female cousin's wedding with our parents and the rest of our family, 25 or more people. Our cousin V has been engaged for just under 3 years and is only getting married now because she has a 1.5-year-old female and a 5-month-old male. V's fiancé lives here while our entire family lives in another state where we came from, meaning she raises the kids without family help, and his family does not help either. We only see V at family gatherings and we don't talk a whole lot. Since our entire family is on this out-of-state trip, we've been going out and doing a lot of activities together in the city, V and children included. The night before the wedding, V's fiancé is having his bachelor party and the rest of the family is going out to enjoy the city. Because my sisters and I are under 21, we can't get into a lot of the nightlife restaurants, bars. After V saw how much fun everyone was having, including her fiancé, she went to ask our mum if we could babysit her younger kids for the night because we wouldn't be able to drink. She told her no, since she knew we wouldn't want to, and V went off complaining to anyone that would listen. She was saying how it was her wedding and she deserved to have fun the night before and not be home crying with her kids when everyone else was out. We have never babysat anyone before, and we've been treating this trip as also a large family vacation for us, and we wanted to spend time with our family that night. We also have never interacted with her kids before. She complained so much that her mum ended up taking the kids home, but she still complained that it wasn't fair to her. We heard later that her older sister had told her to get a babysitter a month prior for this weekend, but she said that she hasn't been able to get a hold of anyone that she trusts. Our mum now feels guilty that we didn't go babysit, but I don't think it's our responsibility to take care of her young kids when we want to spend time with the family. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Victoria wants you based on 2 specious assumptions. 1, that you can't have fun if you can't drink alcohol. 2, that you're competent babysitters, despite having 0 experience with babies. Essentially, she wants you because you're conveniently there, and she thinks you can be bullied into complying. Don't give in. You're not qualified and she's not entitled to your services. This wedding is not a sudden surprise, and neither is the fact that she has kids. She was fully capable of arranging things in advance, and it was her responsibility to do so. Neither you nor your mum should feel guilty for her own lack of adequate preparation. Comment 2. There are 2 possibilities here. In the first scenario, she already had her night out while the fiancé stayed home with the children. Now she is throwing a fit about not getting a second night, which is definitely not fair. In the second scenario, the fiancé leaves her with the children and she never gets reciprocal leisure time in return. In this situation, she shouldn't be mad at you for not babysitting one night. She should be rethinking the wedding. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Her poor planning is not an emergency on your part. Is it sad that everyone got to go out and have fun while she's left behind? Absolutely. However, she's been engaged for 3 years, and the kids didn't just appear yesterday. She was let down by her own half-assed planning. Also, she complains about not being able to find someone she trusts, but wants to leave her kids with people who've neither babysat nor have kids of their own. Now for the next story. My 16-year-old parents, who are 52 and 53 years old, just announced they are getting a divorce. A bit of backstory. For the past 3 months or so, my dad has been sleeping in the guest room. However, my parents chalked it up to my dad being really loud when he snores. Now, earlier today, my parents had a talk with me and my siblings, who are 11 and 13 years old. They announced they are getting a divorce, however, will not tell any of us why. After they told us that, my siblings and I had a talk. I asked them if it would be okay for me to stay at a friend's house for a few days to calm down. They both agreed, and I started packing and called my friend who agreed. When I told my parents about it, they yelled at me and called me an a-hole who doesn't give a crap about my family. I left anyway, and now my parents are furious with me and took all the money out of my lunch account. They say I am being unreasonable and need to come home. If you have any thoughts, please share. I do not care if they call me an a-hole. I just need an outside opinion. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Oh, and if you tell an adult at school, I can't have any lunch today because my parents got mad and took all of my lunch money because I needed to get away at a friend's house so I could get myself together and not blow up at them after they told me that they are divorcing. Then, well, your parents may well blow right the hell up at you even more, but you will also have shown them that from here on you will not keep secrets for them. This is important to establish early with people who are breaking up, whether you are related to them or not, if they are both likely to see you as somebody to vent to. Which is an extremely uncool thing to dump on your own kid, and many couples who are breaking up manage not to stoop to it, but if they think that stealing your eating money is okie doke, eat ya. OP, if you are not talking to your friend's parents about this, please do so right away. I am speaking as somebody who had to send a child elsewhere for a while after a brain injury turned his father into somebody who was not emotionally safe for children to be around. Coordinate with your friend's parents. Prep them ahead of time with this information. You did the mature thing and got your big feelings out of there before they overflowed onto anybody else. Your parents are accusing you of unlove because you did this and imply that it is your duty to be present for the upheaval as if you were a fellow adult, caregiver, co-parent or something. To repeat, they are talking to you like you have responsibilities that are connected to them getting divorced, like you are a peer. And then they yanked your lunch money. In short, you need an adult, or preferably a team of adults, so you can get your feet under you as your life changes drastically. At this time, your parents are not prepared to be those adults. Also, talk a lot about your education. About how you have 2 years to go before adulthood, assuming that is 18 in your area, and you need stability and not to be dealing with the emotions of grown-ass adults who seem to have temporarily won hopes, forgotten that their divorce is not your mess to clean up. Comment 2. I'm confused more by all the comments than the story. People assume the parents gave OP permission to go to the friend's house and are now pulling a 180. They didn't give permission, the siblings did. Also, nowhere is it said that they want OP back to take care of the other kids. In fact, that's just what Reddit decided to add to the story. No idiots here, and your parents taking the lunch money is a blatant power move to try and force you to go back. However, you are a minor. You can't run off to a friend's house without problems arising. I understand you wanted time to cool off, but you should consider going back home. Your parents are probably also having a tough time and are being forceful to get you back home, which isn't right, but that doesn't mean they don't care about you. I'd say go into conversation with them. Comment 3. No idiots here. Marriage is very complicated and you aren't privy to their marriage issues, even if you are their kid. Do you really want to hear about all the possible issues they could be having? They don't need to give you a reason. They're unhappy in their marriage and have made a decision, one that was probably a long time coming, to end it. This is not easy for them, and they probably dreaded telling all of you. That said, it's fair that you are upset and angry about it. I would have perhaps tried to approach it without anger and asked if you could have a couple days with friends to get used to the idea. As it currently stands, you're a minor and under their roof, so disappearing in a fit of rage is not a great answer to your problem. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.